Speaking of Brad Pitt, Lamar.
I know, right? Because that's so related to what we were talking about.
Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 31, Cutting
Yeah,
Class.
boy, oh boy. Let's talk about this film because we always talk about people starting off, with their roots.
Yep.
One of Brad Pitt's first big starring movies, Cutting
Yeah, he was
Class.
super young. And
Yeah, he was.
what years was it?
1989. This was the year
89.
after I was born.
Nice. Yeah, he plays Dwight. There's
Oh boy.
three main characters, Dwight, Paula, and Brian.
Yes.
I just got to say right off the bat, there was a weird tone in this movie with the Paula character. Everybody in this movie was trying to get up on her.
We gotta talk about that because that is very true.
It was a weird
because
reoccurring thing.
it didn't just extend to the two main guys.
Like the
It
love
extended
interest. Yeah.
outside of it with men who shouldn't even be doing that.
Yeah. It was a weird thing. But
Yeah.
anyways, it starts off her dad is going on a hunting trip, which is like not far apparently. He gets shot by a mystery person with an
Yes.
arrow, a bow and arrow. And but the premise is like he leaves her alone and he's like, whatever you do, don't cut class.
Dun dun dun. Roll credits.
Yeah. And then it turns out like she's just, your normal high school girl. She's got a douchey boyfriend, Dwight, who is
Oh,
Brad
man.
Pitt.
Dear God.
He's kind of a douche in this.
There's no kind of. We'll expand on his douchiness as
Yeah.
we speak, but yeah.
And then there's another guy that's kind of in love with her, Brian, and he's kind of deemed like kind of a crazy guy because it seemed like he killed his father.
Yes.
Like he rigged up the brakes in his father's car, killed his father. He ended up in a mental institution. Now he's out. He's back in school. He's in love with Paula. People just start dying.
Yes.
You never see the killer. You see like a hand or whatever.
The movie has a lot of like school related deaths.
Yeah.
After the arrow, you have a woman get her head crushed on a scanner.
Yeah.
You have the teacher basically get trapped inside of like what do you call it? Like a kiln. You have that.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite death because it makes no sense. The gym teacher jumping on the trampoline, and then so they take the American flag, stick it under the trampoline, and he falls down on it.
Yeah, the gym teacher who is also a douche.
Hardcore.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, God.
Somebody got dragged in under the bleachers and murdered under the bleachers. Two people,
you have to
actually.
set up the bleacher thing because okay, so one of her friends,
a little bit of a hoe.
yes, she was promiscuous. Joe.
Well,
that's how you say it.
But here's the thing: it wasn't just that, Lamar. She was a cheerleader, and she's like, "Let's give the audience a good show." So she takes off her panties. So when she's doing her cheers and she jumps and bends down, like everyone gets the full show. So a little bit more than promiscuous.
yes. And then she gets dragged under the bleachers with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And they both get killed.
Yep.
And we got to talk about the perviness that surrounds Paula.
Yeah. The principal in particular.
Who is a legend, Randy McDowell, may he rest in peace. He was in the original Planet of the Apes, wasn't he? I think so.
Maybe.
The principal was a total perv.
Yeah. There was a scene where he brought her into his office to give her the cheerleader uniforms. And he was like, they're there on the floors. So she had to bend over and pick them up, and he was looking at her panties. He was like, would you try it on for me? And she's like,
yeah.
Well, she's like, you'll see it later at the game. And he's like, but couldn't you just try it on now? That was very strange.
Very weird. Yeah, he was so really Paula is in a very hostile environment in her high school.
Yeah, there was a weird undertone with that.
Because it's not only the principal, it was also later on the janitor.
The janitor.
And then, even the math teacher was like, what's a pretty young girl doing by yourself?
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
what is wrong with these people? Like, everybody is trying to molest this young lady in
Yeah.
school. Like,
It was very weird.
yeah, so.
And then it turns
Yeah.
out like douchey Brad Pitt, he's up for a basketball scholarship, but then he gets into a fight
Man.
during the basketball game. And apparently
Yeah.
he hates his father. Like he's just like an angry young dude or something. I don't know.
Yeah, basically it's just Brad Pitt just saying lines angrily. My favorite one is when he has to make up a day of gym class.
Yeah.
And he's talking to his gym teacher,
Yeah,
and
it's
he
the best.
basically goes, "Fuck you,
Fuck you.
fuck you, fuck you." And then the teacher was like, "Fuck you." And then he comes back, it's like, "That's not how you talk to your students." Like, really? Really?
I'm surprised that's not a more popular meme. Brad Pitt just going, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I think we could do it, Joe, after this review, because that was hilarious. Continuing his douchey behavior, shows up to gym class without his gym clothes. And then the teacher was like, "Why don't you have your gym clothes on?" "They're in my car." He's like, "Well, go get them." He's like, "I don't mind." He's like, "Well, put your gym clothes on. Like, this is gym class. Like, what are you doing?" Like,
he was just an angry douche.
Like, yeah.
And even when there was a scene where he showed up and they were eating hot dogs at a restaurant, and he got mad because Paula was talking to Brian, and he was like, "Get in the car."
Yeah.
Like, he was just like a bastard. So there was that. But it turned out at one point, Dwight, Brad Pitt's character, and Brian were friends. Brad Pitt taught him how to undo the brakes on a car, which is ultimately how Brian's father ended up dying, and he got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Which led people to believe that Dwight was the real killer, and Brian was just kind of innocent in all of this.
Yes.
But then they flip it back around. Brian is the real maniac killer. And then Dwight ends up kind of saving the day.
Yeah.
So the douchey boyfriend ends up kind of saving Paula.
That's basically the movie. Brad Pitt's first big role. And so.
Yep. All right. So, all right. We got to do the rating on it. And what'd you think?
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give this a 4 because here's the thing. Because we talked about, Golden Temple Amazons where they just were lazy. They at least tried on this one. And there were just points where I was just laughing. A lot of it was Brad Pitt's delivery of lines, the deaths, the story in general. Like, we didn't talk about the math one where they're stuck in a room and the math teacher can't figure out math and he still gets it wrong and he still gets killed. And the killer goes, "You didn't take into account different time zones." I thought that was hilarious.
And that was a callback from earlier where Brad Pitt, he couldn't never figure out math or whatever.
Because he doesn't, because Brad Pitt doesn't do his homework.
Yeah, he doesn't do it. And then the other guy stood up for him. He's like, "Just lay off of him, bro," or something. Yeah.
I give it a 4 because I was just laughing at certain points because I was just like, wow, someone wrote this. And there's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
And it was very 80s. Very 80s where it was humorous. It was so 80s.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I mean, Brad Pitt's wardrobe. I mean, wearing your jeans inside of your sneakers. It doesn't get more 80s. I mean, it doesn't get more 80s than that. So,
yeah. I'm pretty much with you. Like, I'd say 4, but I'm going to give it a 5 because the Brad Pitt element makes it more interesting. If he wasn't in it, it would be way less interesting, right? I felt like this movie had some early workings of some movies that came later on. I got some vibes of Scream in there at some point. You know what I mean? I said, I could see how this movie would have been like kind of an influence on the Scream movies. So I like that. I like you said, it was just funny and goofy and 80s and just like you're watching and you're like, what the hell? Like, just like there's a scene with Brad Pitt. He's just driving his car all crazy and he almost runs over a little kid on his bicycle. And the mom like pulls the kid out of danger and she's like, "You bastard." And then he's like, "Same time tomorrow." And
he just drives off.
He just drives off. It's just so outrageous and goofy that it's fun. So yeah, I loved it, and because
It was
Brad
good.
Pitt was in it, I'm giving it a 5.
I wonder what Brad Pitt would say about this movie, like what
Yeah.
stuff he would tell. Because apparently the lead actress, she didn't even want to do the movie. She was like more so convinced because like Roddy McDowell was in it. You know, he was like a big star, and like apparently like on set, like she just was agitated. A lot of the actors were because like the director wanted them to say the lines like exactly like it was in the script, and that just, I guess that's a big thing that actors hate. Yeah, it was one of those weird things where you go back, like just had that pervy feel to
Yeah,
it. Just
I was like, is there a message here, or is this just a goofy thing that they're putting in this movie?
it was just goofy shit. It was just like
I think you're right. It just seems like, I was like, what the hell? Like, but yeah, there was just so much goofy stuff in there. It's hard not to like it. You know, it's just so outrageous. The janitor was a great character.
I am the custodian of your life. I was like, what are you talking about?
Because they played him off like he was like some like Vietnam vet that's now a janitor. Like he's got PTSD. Like he's really wild and crazy, and everything about it was just over exaggerated.
Oh yeah,
in the film. So, and that's what makes it fun, I think. So,
yeah,
I like this movie.
Yeah,
it's interesting, and Brad Pitt. So,
well, another tidbit, like I think the director didn't even want to get Brad Pitt, but like apparently I think a producer found 4 women and maybe shot and shown them like Brad Pitt's picture, and they were like, this dude is hot, and he was like, well, there you go.
Well, this freaking guy, you know. See, we know how this guy got by in life.
Hey, I can't knock it, because if I was in the same position, I'm not going to feel sorry for people that are uglier than me. I know that's terrible to say, but if I can find my way to become a multi-million-dollar actor in Hollywood, I'm not going to feel sorry for people that don't have my good looks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Damn you, Brad Pitt, and all you good-looking people.
Yeah, hey, you know, it happens.
Yep. That wraps this one up. Episode 31, Brad Pitt, Cutting Class.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
Fuck you!